Alright, hello Wolfpack. FOMC decision has dropped. I don't think people realize how bullish that is, okay? I don't mean immediately bullish, but I mean for the Q4 bottom. Now, I still think, clarifying, because that was a misleading comment, clarifying, I think the bottom will be in Q4. I think the bottom will be in October to November. I don't think we've seen it yet, and I think there is a considerable chance we'll see a double bottom at 17.5k on Bitcoin. I think the FOMC decision yesterday, 75 basis point hike, and what the actual comments from Jerome Powell were very supporting of that Q4 bottom. In fact, I've never felt more confident in the Q4 bottom in recent months than I do right now. I think we will be seeing it, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. It is compelling, and it is something that I don't think is deniable. I think this is very, very convincing evidence, so let's dive into it. Now, before we look into the charts, I want to explain it, okay? So, essentially, we saw a 75 basis point hike on yesterday's, or it's today's, depending on where you live, FOMC decision. Now, essentially, 75 basis point, it's what we expected. In fact, the market was 82% sure we were expecting 75 basis points, so it was mostly priced in. Yes, we saw some volatility, a sharp drop because of that, and we've come down and we've conducted a resistance support flip from this descending, broadening wedge formation, which obviously is very bearish. Now, we do have bullish MACD divergence here. However, it is indicative of the fact that we might be going further down before we even retest that MACD line. So we could be seeing a retest of the lows of the 17.5k lows or around 18k lows before we even see any kind of support here on Bitcoin, any kind of real support on Bitcoin. So 75 basis points, yes, it came in, yes, it's mostly expected, but ultimately it's led to some preliminary bearish price action. Now, I can't deny the fact that we might have a potential double bottom formation here on the hourly chart, but I don't think that's going to result in anything major on a longer term basis. Now, again, getting into this a little bit further, 75 basis points, they're taking a pretty aggressive approach in order to get inflation down. And people are saying all the time, I constantly get it, it's fine, you're entitled to your own opinion, but people don't understand. I don't think people truly understand how good for the Q4 bottom that decision was yesterday. The reason is this, okay? The reason is this. Not only do we have a 4-year cycle theory on Bitcoin supporting a Q4 bottom, not only do we have a macro downtrending line indicative of a Q4 bottom, because essentially once we come down to major support, we have to either break the line or go down, and there's only so far we can go down, and by the time we reach the end of the year, we'll be down at like 8k, okay? So essentially, we have a Q4 bottom as supported by the 4-year cycle theory. We have a macro downtrending line and support line supporting a Q4 bottom theory. And there's much more, but I can't get off the top of my head. I've listed it so many times in previous videos. But essentially this, Jerome Powell said, okay? Jerome Powell said, the targets for more the more basis points they're going to raise rates, essentially, by the end of the year is 100 to 125 basis points. Now, there are two rate hike decisions remaining this year. So he basically said, without saying it, that we're going to see, because think about the number 100 to 125, all right? If there was two more 75 basis point hikes, it'd be 150. He'd overshoot. So there has to be, as per what he said, a 75 basis point hike and a 50 basis point hike, or two 50 basis point hikes, okay? So Jerome Powell has essentially admitted on behalf of the central bank, on behalf of the Federal Reserve, that they will be lowering the magnitude of the rate hikes at some point this year. Yes, that rates will still be going up, but the magnitude of the rate hikes will be lowering at some point this year. And if we're looking at this website here called the CME Fed Watch tool, that's the link on the website. Essentially, we can see this is the next rate hike. This is the probability of a 50 basis point hike on the left, and then a 75 basis point hike on the right. We can see that there is a 36% chance we see a 50 basis point hike in the next FOMC meeting, and then in December 14th, we can see that percentage for a 50 basis point hike jumps up to 62%, and we actually see a 32% percentage chance for a 25 basis point hike, and only a 4% chance for a 75 basis point hike. Guys, I cannot stress how critical and fundamentally supportive this is of the Q4 bottom theory. This is a clear indication. Not even speculation. This is what the market is expecting. A clear indication that we will be seeing a decrease in the magnitude of the rate hikes within 2023, within Q4, as per the 4-year cycle theory. Very, very important stuff. This is insanely supportive evidence for the 4-year cycle theory. I can't even stress how important that is. So this is great, right? Because what does it mean? Well, it means that if we do in fact bottom in Q4 as we would expect, as we've expected since 60k, as we've expected since November last year, and as the evidence keeps piling up for, if we do in fact bottom in Q4, the date range trend for Bitcoin only gets stronger, meaning that we have even more predictability for Bitcoin in the future. I want people to really understand, okay? I want people to really understand this point, okay? Again, I have people who disagree with me. It's fine. You're welcome to disagree. I welcome any disagree. What would you say? I welcome any comments in the comment section that try to debate my opinion. I read them all. I don't respond to all of them, but I do read them all. You're welcome to do that. But I would say, as per my opinion, we are getting very close to the bottom here in the markets. I think the bottom is very, very close. Okay, as I've said before, this is my buying plan for Bitcoin, and it generally reflects my opinions. My buying plan is this: 33% at 17.5k to 18k, meaning we'll be buying 33% very soon. 33% at 11k to 13k, just in case we go lower, because I don't think we're going below 11k. And then 33% at a breakout. If we don't reach 11k or 13k, we'll buy 33% at 17 to 18 and 76% and 67% at the breakout. Right? I'm very, very confident in the fact that the bottom will be in Q4. I'd be extremely surprised if it's not. I'm not even basing that blindly on the 4-year cycle theory. I think the evidence is here. The FOMC decision yesterday displayed that evidence quite clearly. Inflation, I know people are saying inflation hasn't topped yet. You can say that, that's fine. But from what I understand, core inflation, yes, it went up, year on year last month. However, it is down from the lows, and regular CPI is down like 3 months in a row. Okay, so inflation, to the best of my ability, is slowing down, to the best of my knowledge. And the Federal Reserve has said, they said it yesterday, look, Federal Reserve is not necessarily a trustworthy source. I understand that, but Jerome Powell basically said in his speech yesterday that, yes, there are heavy inflationary pressures, and yes, inflation is not where they want it to be yet, and it's not down as much as they thought it would be, but they do think that the inflationary pressures are slowing due to the effects of the rate hikes, okay? And what do we see in the markets? I could bring up charts. I know I'm not looking at charts too much in this video, I'm just explaining, but, what we see in the markets is generally this. We see that when inflation tops out, or has begun heading down, the S&P 500 bottoms out. Each line in the S&P 500 here represents where the bottoms were in major downturns, and each line here on the inflation chart is a complete copy of those date ranges. We can see that generally speaking, the S&P 500 bottoms out when inflation tops out or when inflation has begun decreasing. Okay, so this is, again, more supporting evidence for a Q4 bottom. I think that a Q4 bottom at this point is becoming very, very, very likely. Okay? That's my opinion on Bitcoin. And I genuinely think it is. I don't think there's much you could say other than, the macro situation's really bad. Okay, which is, I think, is overly broad comment, and it's based on a vast amount of speculation that isn't supported by what the FOMC decision has come up with. It's not supported by what the inflation number suggests, and it's not supported by what Jerome Powell said. I think that I'm genuinely serious, and people are going to violently disagree with me with this. I know that, okay? But I'm saying that I genuinely don't think there's actually much evidence to claim anything other than a Q4 bottom right now. I think that if you're claiming that, it could be true, it could happen, anything can happen, but I think you're basing it on a vast amount of speculation and not much data. All right, that's my genuine opinion. Now, what we have here on the RSI, we've got the number 34 on the 3-day RSI, and we can see that 34 has been retested recently, and we're coming down to retest it again. By the time we come down to retest it, we'll be testing 17.5k. We'll be testing a double bottom, and what we can see here on the kind of shorter term time frame, not really, but zooming in, we can see that this is actually one big rounding top formation. People are seeing that as a reason to break down. It could very well be a reason to break down. Again, I'm not opposed to bottoming out lower. My whole opinion is a Q4 bottom. I don't really care where it is, but what I'm saying is this. Yeah, that could be seen as a rounding top formation. That could be seen as a very bearish formation. But guys, it also could be seen as a W formation. Okay, so that's not really a valid argument. I don't think that really tells us anything about Bitcoin. Okay, so, let's be a little bit, concise with our viewpoints here, and let's not try and let bias, inflict our opinions. Because I see a lot of people claiming, oh, dude, this is a clear rounding top formation, a clear breakdown. It's like, no, it's really not, actually. It could just be a W formation, could just be a double bottom, as we've seen in every other Bitcoin bear market we've had before. We've seen those rounding bottom formations before. I think, honestly, it's more likely than not that we bottom at 17.5. Again, we could very well go to 11 to 13. It doesn't really matter to me where we go. It matters about the date. And I think we'll bottom out not only in Q4, but before December. And again, I've repeated myself so many times, but that FOMC decision was such massive supporting evidence for that. That's just come out fresh. That gives me a rejuvenated boost of confidence in that prediction. So let me know what you guys think. Again, I'm very happy to hear your guys' opinions. I could very well be wrong, and I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say about that. So let's see what happens here. And tomorrow we've got a fresh video, fresh analysis. Might do something not Bitcoin related. We'll see how the market is at that point in time. But anyway, cheers, guys. Go to my YouTube channel homepage and click on the join button. You will see a tab that comes up which shows you all the information of the VIP membership with the Wolves of Crypto YouTube channel. What you get in return for 40 AUD a month, which works out to be around 30 USD a month, is 4 exclusive trading setups per week, which have been extremely profitable in the past. Prioritized reply to comments on my end. A trading psychology lecture, which is extremely useful, and some people have actually said that's the most useful video I've ever made. It goes into a deep dive into the actual mechanics, psychologically speaking, around trading. And then also an exclusive Telegram group access link, which has over 200 members currently. And so you can go in there and discuss the market 24/7 any time of day. We've got members from all around the world in there. So go ahead and sign up to to VIP membership using that join button there. Moving forward, we're going to talk about BitGet, and this is the exchange we use on the VIP membership. So this is all the VIP members use this exchange. Now, I actually was using this exchange before I had a partnership with them. I was the one who reached out to this exchange asking for a partnership because I genuinely think it is such an improvement on the major exchanges like Binance and Coinbase. Why do I think that? Well, first and foremost, it's got 0 fees on spot pairs, which is saving you a bunch of money. On top of that, it's got 5 times lower fees than Binance on futures trading. So immediately it establishes itself as an extremely cheap and efficient exchange to use for everyday trading and even investing, honestly, if you're investing with considerable chunks of money. On top of all of this, it holds true to the values of cryptocurrency. And it does that by being non-KYC on your end optionally, which means that essentially, all these other exchanges here, heavily centralized. They require you to put your identity in. They require you to kind of, trespass and encroach on the values of cryptocurrency. BitGet doesn't ask you to do that. You can do it if you want to for tax reasons, but it doesn't ask you to do it. It's not mandatory. You can use this exchange globally, and you don't even need to link your identity to it if you don't want to. Now, that doesn't take away from the safety of this exchange, because this exchange actually has a protection fund, and we'll click on the link here. And essentially, they have deposited 6,000 Bitcoin and 80 million USDT onto this exchange to make sure that in the occurrence that someone loses their money on the exchange via a hack or whatever like that, you can make a request here and you can get that money refunded to you, provided it was not the fault of the exchange. So that's very interesting as well. Not many exchanges have anything like that. So go ahead and sign up to BitGet using my referral link in the description below, and you will additionally gain access to a reward center with over 4,000 USD in rewards. And on top of that, adding to the list here, you also get 10 USD dropped into your account straight away after you make your first trade using my referral link exclusively. So go ahead and do that. You're supporting the channel in doing that as well. It's completely free and it takes 5 minutes. Thanks, guys. And then lastly, we've got the Crypto Academy. Now, this is for people who want to learn how to trade. So if you're interested in learning how to trade, I recommend this course. This is a course developed by myself and Megawell Crypto. If we scroll down at the bottom, you can see Megawell Crypto, big analyst in the space. We work very closely side by side, share a lot of the same ideas. We also challenge each other on some ideas. And so we've got 2 perspectives together in order to form this one course. You can go to the website and read the bio. Essentially, it's 10 units. It's very comprehensive. It's very extensive. And it's going to teach you everything you need to know about trading in a cryptocurrency market, and to be honest, any financial market. It's going to teach you how to learn those charts. It's going to teach you the right mindset. It's going to teach you how to find the trades, etc. You can join us here. Go to the website, scroll down at the bottom, and chuck us an email at cryptoacademycourses@gmail.com, and we'll get back to you with the rest of the information. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.